And our second presenter is an educationist, rather a seasoned educationist. The second presenter is Mr. Bilal Khan. He is the teacher trainer, member of International Chamber of Language Teachers of Mexico. He is PPDCI manager, vice principal at a very renowned private school, and he's going to cover building teacher-learner relationship. Before I give ground to him, I am going to reshare that I always say, as a teacher, if you home in the hearts of learners, you can, change their lives. Rather, you can transform them completely. It is only possible when teacher and learner have a very strong heart-to-heart relationship. So Mr. Bilal is going to cover this area today. And let's explore with him how it's going to happen and how we can make it possible in this era when people are ego gratifiers and they are very arrogant as well at the same time. So over to you, Mr. Bilal. I'm sure the journey is going to be learning oriented for everybody.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Very good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to all of you, wherever you are in any zone. Well, I would like to pay a very formal thanks to Ma'am Hina for giving me this chance to present my ideas and thoughts about the topic which I'm going to discuss today. And literally being a part of PPDCI, I'm feeling very privileged and prestigious that I've got that chance that I can talk with you and I can share what basically we really want to make our audience and people aware for. So, but here I also would like to add up one more thing that I keep attending the such kind of things with different of the platform. But let me mention that PPDCI is one of the platform which itself has created a kind of a corners in people's heart. And this is the second boot camp, and many of the people and attendees I can find who were there last time as well, and still they are here. And this is just because of because that's PPDCI is one of the very safe and kind of a very homely environment we can find over here. And for that all, I would say that the credit goes to the most respectful Ma'am Hina, who herself has created a kind of relation with her audience and the attendees. And I would say that that relation which she has created is very much important. And I further will take this relation that when you create a kind of relation, when you create a kind of space in people's heart, so things become very easy. Things become very easy to convey, and what you basically want make your listeners to aware for, it becomes so easy. But I believe like more than 40% your work is done if you have a space, if you have a soft corner in your listener's heart. Well, so let me share my screen.
Meanwhile, Mr. Bilal is sharing the screen. Let me announce once again that we have already shared the YouTube channel link here in the chat room. In case if you need the playback or the recordings of all the sessions which are done in bootcamp, you can go through subscribing the channel and support PPDCI, because in return, with all these services in return, what we expect from you is only a thumbs up on the channel. Secondly, we'll be sharing the link of attendance by 9:45 or maybe a bit earlier than that. So don't worry about it that attendance link is not being shared. I would suggest everyone to focus on the learning which is taking place, and attendance is a secondary matter which we're going to take in a while. Don't worry about that. All set, Bilal?
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, meanwhile, I was just thinking about one of the quote which is said by Charity Stephan, and she said that teaching is not about the management of learners. Teaching is about building relationship with learners, which I just was talking about the PPDC and about Ma'am Hina. So this is something which is very much important. And for this learning process, with this teaching and learning process, what is very much important because this in this teaching and learning process, telling is not teaching, which is not enough, and listening and watching is not learning. Learning is to relate yourself with whatever is going on in your surrounding. Learning is to be with that, to be a part of whatever is going on, to feel, to like, to be there in that phenomena. So, for that, which is very much important, to create a kind of a culture of learning, and that for creating a kind of that culture of learning, what we need to do, we need to we need to build up a student teachers relationship. And building a student teachers relationship, it is very much important to understand its concept. What do we basically want to say over here? What is that which is specifically required, we as a teacher, we as a student? Because see, it is something which is from the both side, where a teacher performs, I would say that more than 70, as per the research and the expertise say, that 70 to 80% role is there which teacher plays, and the rest of the role is played by the learner. So here I would like to make you all aware about what basically we are going to learn today. That's about which are our goals, to build up teachers and learners relationship, which is something, as I've discussed, very important, and the importance of teachers and students positive relationship. See, here we are talking about the students and teachers positive relationship, which is very much required to have in this teaching and learning process. The strategies to build up the positive teachers and learners relationship, and we also will discuss about the principles of building relationship, which are the possible, which may be the possible techniques and something like that. But before moving towards the next, I would like to ask, see, we, God has created us as a mankind, and we as mankind, one of the most precious creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we as mankind are one of the superior creation of God. So he has created us and given us the different tribes, families, cultures, societies, and we have been given the different names, tags. We are playing the different roles, like somewhere we are teacher, we are the facilitator, we are the father, mother, sister, brother, husband, wife. We are playing different of the roles as per our profession. We are somewhere doctor, engineer. What I'm gonna ask a question from you people, that please write in a chat box, what do you think as an individual you are playing different roles in your life on daily basis? What is that one role you feel is the best, and why? I would like you to please write down in the chat box. I do want to go through that, and then we further move on. I repeat what I basically want, that what is that specific role you feel that you are best in? Maybe that's the father, maybe that's the teacher, maybe that's something else, whatsoever you want. And why? Why you feel like you are the best as a teacher, and why? If you feel like you are a best father or a mother, then why? So this is what I want basically. Father and teacher. Raja Haris is saying, all right, father and teacher, but you haven't mentioned, Mr. Raja Haris, that why you are saying that as a father. Reason you haven't mentioned. Okay, well, nobody else is giving an answer. The question is not as difficult. Okay, I think to help and facilitate someone is the noblest. Teaching is not limited to classroom, but you can teach every other person around you. Mayam Khan. Okay. Well, here, what basically I want, I move further. Here's the picture, and you can see what comes in your mind. Now I relate that question, what I asked, that see, we are playing the different roles. And in each role, we are having the different connections, the people we have around us. Somewhere, some people like us, some people dislike us. Somewhere we like somebody, somewhere we dislike somebody. So these are the different expressions of life. And wherever we are liked or we like, we should just dig out what is the reason behind that. And the reason behind that is only one. And what is that one thing? That's the strong relation. See, in this picture, you can see a teacher is standing and a boy student is there. What sort of relationship you can find over here? Let me see if somebody has shared in the chat box. Dominating teacher, very nice. Yes, Miss Irambatul, you are very much right. She's scolding her student. Yes. Yes, Miss Nihal Fatma. All right. Yes, you're very much right that the teacher is very dominating and the student is being rebuked. See, in every classroom, there are basically three shades. The one where the teacher is dominating, teacher is leading, and teacher-centered based class is going on. And the next we see, here is another shade. This is another shade of the classroom where you may find a teacher is not dominating. Here the students are dominating. Here the teacher is completely surrendered. A teacher might be could not control the class and whatsoever the student want. But again, there's a kind of a conflict. There's no. So this was the picture we were talking about. That here the teacher and students, you may find that both are proceedings and both involvement, both the sides of involvement we may find, students and teachers. And this is the shade basically, which is the
Excuse me?
perfect one. Yes.
Excuse me, Bilal. We cannot see your screen. Are you sharing that?
Yes.
Okay, can you please reshare that?
Sure.
Right. We have some questions here in the chat room about attendance link. So I earlier announced that we'll be sharing the attendance link by 9:45 p.m. as per Pakistan Standard Time, means within 30 minutes from now onwards. And I would like every one of you to be focused on the learning, not on the attendance, because attendance is something which comes by the end here at PPDCI Bootcamp. Yes, we can see your screen, Bilal.
All right. So this is that perfect environment where we may find that what I was talking about, the win-win situation. And we're gonna discuss about this in little detail later on, that what is the win-win situation where you may find that the students as well as the teacher, both the sides are enjoying. And we may find here the one of the most important thing, which is the element of respect. See, teacher and students are sitting together. They are having a good relationship with each other. But the element of respect, values, and that sensitive wall, which is very much important to keep. Like being a teacher, we may even have a party with the students. We can have a lot of things with them. But when it comes to the distance, this is something which is teacher's responsibility to keep it maintained, so that you may give the space to the students, you may give the ground to the students, so that they just feel free to share their ideas and thoughts, to discuss whatever they want with you. They should be allowed to share openly what basically they want. They should be allowed to share what learning menu they want to have right in their front, but with that limit which teacher has to set. So this is basically that thing, which is the perfect classroom, which I wanted you to come across with. Why are the relationship important in teaching? See, as earlier I said, I further would talk in detail that for the improving students' relationship with teacher has important positive and long-lasting implication for both students' academic and social development. Until and unless teachers and students will not have a strong relationship with each other, they can never ever achieve the task. Neither students can learn, nor a teacher can successfully achieve his goal and targets. Why? Because students want an environment where they basically learn and then show. A teachers, when they plan, teachers when plan something, uh, they mention that what are their learning outcomes. And then finally they go for a reflection. And until and unless students don't achieve their targets, they don't get the goals and the objectives which the teacher has set, the teachers remain unsuccessful. And for which the most important thing is to build up few things over here in the classroom when this learning and teaching process is going on. The one which is the trust, and the other thing is the belief. The trust is and the belief is that student feel like, yes, whatever they are going through, that is the perfect one, that is the correct one, and this is the best way of learning what is planned for that. There's no any other plan which can be better than that. See, students believe towards their teachers is more than anything else, even more than their father and mother sometimes. You might have heard about that one of the story where a student reads wrong and he sings a song, and then you know that a mother points out that she says that you are reading wrong, and a child says that no mom, I'm not wrong because my teacher taught me this lesson, and my teacher can never be wrong. So you may see that what a strong par excellence a teacher has, a magic, a kind of a thing that can remarkably bring the change in the world. Because students are just like a blank canvas. What a teacher writes, they just see that, they just listen that, they just believe that, even if the things are wrong. So this was just an example. So we may understand that how this relationship is strong and how this teacher and his learner relationship can bring the remarkably change in the world, in the society. If we just create that, even if we begin with the lesson, we plan a lot of things, we use a lot of resources in our classroom, we bring sometime the multimedia, we outsource different kind of things, but we just miss this one of the most important point, and which is to create a good relationship, to create that connection with our learners, so that they better learn and they better achieve what we have planned, what we have designed for them. And see, if we achieve this, then there's no any hurdle, there will be no any barrier which may stop students. Even if you give them a belief and trust and a kind of a confidence that yes, what I was reading about, that their engagement in learning and behave better in class and achieve at higher levels of academically. When we talk about the high level, it means student, when they trust you, when they believe you, it means that they feel like, yes, what our teachers are saying, that is one of the most important thing. And that is the crystal clear truth. Then even if you assign them for a toughest deal, a difficult task, a complicated task, they even will dare to climb the mountain. Literally, I'm telling you. So if you will just practice this thing, you will find the positive result of this, that even the difficult to difficult things would become so easy if you give that trust, belief, and confidence to your students. And how is this will be possible? Just through that strong relationship, that here we have that why strong teachers relationship lead to the students engagement. Here we just will discuss about the environment which we provide to the students in the classroom. See, when this learning and teaching process start, so it always have a different manners. and it varies from subject to subject. Like you cannot compare the mathematics class to the science subject. You can never compare the social studies class with an English subject. You can never compare the other subject class with some other subject. Every subject has its own colors. Every subject has its own values and requirements. And when you create a planning, when you design a planning, when you just start your class, so it has a lot of shades, and it's they always there in your mind that what basically you want to convey to your students and in what manner. So for that, always try to encourage students. Students encouragement is very much important. And again, like teacher student relationship can promote any of educational institutions and organizations to the success. How? Because if students and teachers relationship is strong, they can participate in different curricular and extracurricular activities. And of course, if the relationship would be stronger, then definitely the results would also be strong and successful. Excuse me. So the one of the most important thing is strengthen academic achievement. As I told, that academic achievement depends on the good and the teachers. Why? Because whenever you plan something and then you assign to your students, then one thing which comes in the way, that is the again a strong belief, trust, and a strong relationship. The first of all things come in the way, that is motivation. Whenever you discuss, you talk with your students, with your learners, you first convey the message. First you depict an idea, you brainstorm them, then you motivate them towards what you basically want them to do. And then in that process, if you be successful, then nothing remains difficult. And then, of course, achievement would be there next to the door. It is something which reduces the chronic absenteeism. See, it has been observed that in many organizations, students, they remain absent, they avoid studies, they avoid studies hours, they avoid to go to the schools and different kind of educational institutions. They prefer to be there with their gadgets. They prefer to be there with some offline support and some online materials and all that. So if the teacher and student relationship is stronger, then only the motivation of teacher can bring the learners towards that destination where they are basically supposed to be gathered and to learn. It promotes self-motivation. Uh, Many of the things learners go through, but when they are motivated about that, they basically understand what they to go for, what they to understand, how they to perform, how they to take the charge, and they to lead them, and then they to achieve further. If they are motivated, if they are concerned so well, then definitely things become easy and they move further. Self-regulation. It teaches the self-regulation, which is also one of the most important thing, where they better can see how, when, and where, what to do, how to do, and when to do. They learn the time management. They learn the importance of what is, why the time is money. They better understand that. It improves the goal making skills. See, when teachers share different kind of things, you might have heard by any of your teacher, and I'm damn sure that still you must be remembered one of the teacher who might have told you one day a story of his or her life, that how he or she learned one of the thing in his or her life and went through that difficult situation, and then later on how did she got over the situation and got the success into that. And at times what happens, our teachers talk and their dialogues work in the way that we learn something, we motivated in the way that we just jump into the ground and we play and we win. So that is something which improves our skills. Even if we are not aware about one of the skill, one of the hidden skills which we have, teachers have that power by creating that relation with the students to make them aware about that they have that spark and potential to do something like that as well. And I can give my example that many of teachers have been there in my life who have made me aware about a lot of my hidden talent and skills, and who have given me a kind of a confidence that yes, I can do that, I can do this, and literally the results are too good. So as a teacher, we should do try to create a kind of an environment in which we better can make our listeners and our learners aware about what basically their life is, what and how manner they to go for that. Well, here we have some uh, kind of a strategies. Let's see how do we go for. See, which are
Excuse
based
me,
on the
Bilal.
journal. Yes.
Excuse me. We cannot see your screen moving, and it's not on the presentation mode. We can see a small part of the screen. So if you can maximize this and
Yes,
take it to
sure,
the presentation mode.
sure.
Yeah, this is a good idea. You can reshare it. Then it's going to definitely help out.
Exactly. This is what I'm.
Meanwhile, PPDCI trainees, in case if you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat room. We'll have Q&A session by end of this session as well.
I hope it's fine now.
Team, we can see the screen, but it's not on the presentation mode. If you can take
Okay.
it on present mode, then it's definitely going to work. Or if you can maximize it from here. Okay, no worries. Good to go with it then. We can see it. Just when you change it, it was the difficulty. We can see strategies for the establishment of a quality teacher-student relationship.
Yes.
So please go ahead.
All right. So it is based on the general principles, and here these principles are basically, which is about the, I would say that again, few things which are very much important here, like we as a teacher should understand what students feel and what is basically their wish, what do they desire for to have in the classroom. So one of the most important thing is that we should play a role as facilitator in the way that we understand what basically the students want and what is their desire, which we should show the empathy. Empathy, I hope you know that, not the sympathy, but the empathy we should show towards our students, that we be a part of their learning, we be a part of whatever they want, whatever the difficulties come in the way, we facilitate them into that. We bring every learners, like whether they are the good students, they are the good learners, they are the average learners, or they are the below average learners. We pay attention equally to every single one, that they feel like yes, the teacher is with them, the teacher is very much supportive, and yes, teacher is individually focusing to us. A teacher should create a kind of an environment, a kind of a relation with every single student, in a way that the student should feel like yes, teacher is with me and teacher is mine, whether they are the average learners or whether they are the
I think there are some technical glitches again. a very common problem. See, virtually we
Tool
can
in the class.
connect in one way or the other way, but these technical glitches become a part of our routine. We couldn't hear you meanwhile, Bilal, your video and audio were stuck. So I just shared it with the participant that that's a common phenomenon. It happens, it keeps happening.
Right.
Okay, they say here that in case if you press Central and F5, Control and F5, you can go through maximizing your screen, Control F5. Or straight away only F5, try only F5.
No, it's not working.
All right, no worries. Let's go with it, dear everyone. No problem.
All right. Well, I think that the relation is very much important other than the big and small screen. The relation should be strong enough while learning this.
Very well
If the
quoted,
words,
yes.
if the words are visible, if these are readable, I think this is enough. And you can hear my voice. So I think there's no need of the big and small size. These are just the size. Whether it's we can watch a movie on a mobile phone and an LD screen as well. Well, so moving back towards the point, and that's about the teachers should know the students' needs. See, here I was talking about that as teacher, we should know what our students' desires. We should prepare a kind of a learning menu. Whatsoever the topic we have planned for the students, we should plan in the way that we better can teach that in a variety of manner. Let's suppose if we go to hotel, we are given a menu, then whatever we like, we go for that. In the similar manner, we should present a kind of a menu, a learning menu to our learners, so that they better can fix their self into whatever the manner they feel like they better can understand. In that way, I think we will create a kind of relation, and the teacher should work as like a facilitator that in each domain, he, she creates a kind of link and connection or a relation with every single student that everybody feels comfortable and everybody learns. And that is also a good way to build up a strong relation with the students. We might have heard that many of the students, they like somebody's class too much. They say that our science teacher is too good, our English teacher is too good. Whenever he comes, he divided us in the group. He divides us in the groups. He creates a kind of an activity. He just assigns us different of the tasks, and then we enjoy a lot. We sit with our friends and this and that. So students' needs are very much important to be acknowledged and noticed. And of course, to build up a good relationship, classroom interaction should be also based on the kind of like which is very much important, like our interaction towards students. How do we interact? How every single student is acknowledged? Sometimes what happens that the students who are sitting on the front, we just take their names, or some of who are very famous in the classroom, maybe the naughty, maybe the very good one, we just take their names, we just call them for every single task, for every small work. Raise the board, Sarah, you come, raise the board. John, just come and do this, go there. So in that way, rest of the students who remain unacknowledged, they feel like very low, and they feel as that teacher does not notice us, we are not acknowledged, we are not valued. So in that way, you remain unable to build up a strong relationship with your students. So here, one of the very sensitive thing is that which always the teachers should keep in their mind, to create a good relationship with the learners, that every single student is acknowledged. Like how if I say that, yes, you, are you listening to me? Yes, you. Did you notice what I said? So in that way, everybody would be there that yes, one teacher is looking to every single person, and we are being continuously monitored. That is also a very like I would say that the eye contact, which is very much important, which itself can create a good and a very strong relation. We should use a very strong effective discipline in the classroom, or whatever the learning environment we have created. Effective disciplines like we must set some rules. We must set some kind of a things with what every single student is fully aware. She knows that what can be the consequences. She should be aware that what can be the incentives, even like if they perform well, if they give their 100%, if the all assigned tasks are accomplished so well, so what would they be rewarded? And if they commit mistake, if they remain fail to cover up whatever is assigned to them by the teacher, then what sort of things would be there? If they create a kind of disturbance, if they create a kind of mess, then what sort of things should be there? So these things, if are very much clear by the teacher, and of course, here I would add up. Yesterday, Mamina was sharing in a session, during the session, that if the teacher is liked by student, and if students love the teacher, they listen to love, and when they listen to love, when they love to listen, they definitely love to obey them. And when they obey the teachers, then definitely it becomes easy for teacher to continue the class with all the goals and the plan which he has set for. And this is possible only when teacher is loved by the students. Because if he she love, then of course student will obey, listen, and they continuously would be following the instructions are given to them by the teacher. Now we'll move towards some of other things which are also the part of the classroom, which better can create a good relationship between the students and teachers. And they are like interesting and fun. Like, sometimes what happens, the topic is very dry and difficult, but you create a kind of an environment in which everybody just get entertained. And you create a kind of enchantment in which students enjoy. They feel so much joy, and they just get themselves amused, and then they even don't come to know that when they have learned something which was very difficult. So that is very much important, because students and learners, they always like and wait for those teachers who make them feel good, comfortable, healthy, and they just love such kind of things. So this is also very much important tool to build up a strong relationship between students and teachers. Pleasant environment, already I as have spoken that where every student should be comfortable. When you enter in the classroom, it's better that you see where all the learners are sitting, and how, in what manner they are sitting, and then what is your plan, what position do you want them to be there, which is also very much important. You should just change the environment of class for your subject teaching, for whatsoever you have prepared to teach. A win-win situation, which previously I was talking about. See, a win-win situation is that where all the group of teacher and learners, they remain at the same position, and they all perform so well. This is a kind of a situation which where you better may use a method of students teachers centered base, where everybody perform, everybody win, everybody enjoys, everybody gain. So this is a win-win situation, which is very much important, in which you better may find a kind of a synergy, in which you better can learn new things, new ideas. You know and learn how you better can coordinate with each other. Communication should be very much clear. Yes, clarity in communication is also very much important in building up a good and a strong positive relationship between students and teachers. Until and unless the way and the communication would not be clear enough, many things will remain unsuccessful, and you would not be able to achieve the goal which you have set for. And of course, motivation is very much important for every single thing. As uh, I earlier said, that whatsoever the plan you begin with, until and unless you don't motivate your students to bring them towards what you have planned for them, nothing is possible. So motivation is very much important. Here, I hope so that you can see that what are the possibilities. Here, we see the treatment of students. Sometimes what happens that we remain fail to treat the student as per their need. Sometimes we hurt them in a way that we even don't know. Maybe that the student is depressed. Maybe that the learner is feeling some kind of difficulty in solving some problems. Maybe the learner does not have resources, the required resources. Maybe that she is suffering with one of the domestic problems, personal problems. Maybe that she is going through some kind of mental stress, financial issues. So we should see the ground reality. We should, even as a teacher, we should plan that whenever we come to teach the new learners, we conduct a kind of an interview in which we talk in detail with every single learner, and we come to know that what do they want, where do they live, what is that circumstance, from where they come, and what basically they want, what difficulties they have so far suffered, and what is that joy and luxury they enjoy for. We should do talk about their relationships so that we better can feel what do they feel. And if the way the time the day we feel that what basically they want and they are feeling, then I don't think so that we ever can treat in a wrong manner to any single student or a learner. Again, the discipline problems should be tackled in a very smart and a very tricky manner, that before these occur, you control them. You as a teacher should be very much aware about that. Whenever you even feel that the signs of some problems and some conflicts can be there, so you, before they occur, should try to resolve them, try to work for them, try to talk to them. Because students come to have a kind of dispute, and they show their problems when initial stages they find there's no any solution, and when they don't find anybody to listen to them. But when they trust you, they rely you, and they love you, of course, so they definitely come with all their even pity issues, and they discuss with you, and they better feel that yes, these would be solved and there'll be no any issues, that sort of. Threatening and anger, which is a very much important part. And in this teaching and learning process, most of the time it has been observed and seen that whenever a teacher or student is there, a kind of anger and threat are there, which should not be the part. As per the contemporary modern technologies are saying, and the educationist has declared very clearly that threat and anger should be removed. We should create a kind of an environment in which students even they learn how to overcome their anger. Because if we control the anger, the threats would not be there. Because whether it's a student, it comes to student or teacher, threats come when the anger goes beyond the limit, and when you don't find any positive solution. And when you don't find any positive solution, then it comes to threats, fights, and dispute. So the more you feel such kind of thing, the more you find the negative thoughts, and your anger will increase. Punishments and proportionals and all such kind of things should also be considered in a way that must be productive enough. Like the dealing of students, whether they have committed some kind of a mistake, even if they have not accomplished the task which you have assigned, even if they have not acknowledged the things which you wanted to convey to them, they have not listened your words, the lectures or whatsoever you want to teach them. As a learner, they have not responded, no issue at all. But never punish. Try to create a kind of session, sit with them, give some time, talk to them, and then try to resolve the issues. See, classroom is is something which is a room of a four wall, but it's a world. It's a world. In these four walls, sitting in this field, four walls, you can see the world. And it depends on teacher. How does teacher show that? How does teacher bring students towards that phase that they better can feel and they can see the whole world just by sitting in that one room? Because see, teaching is something which is an art, and the art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. And the day when you assist that discovery, it means like you have won the game and you have achieved your goals. See, respect is something which cannot be, created forcefully in something like that. Respect is something which a kind of an element which itself is created. And again, I would say that when there's a strong relationship, when there's a kind of a love in between, a positive love in between teachers and student, then automatically respect is there. When the care is there, when the kindness is there, when the element of empathy is there in between this learning and teaching process, then automatically respect is there from the teacher side as well as from the student side. Both the side care for each other, both the side think and respect. Student trust, we already have talked about, so we would just move forward. See, what happens that we always talk about the students and we always talk about the learners, and we always most of the time blame to the learners and their weak areas we discuss about. We never glance in ourselves that what are those elements which we need to improve and for which we need to work. So we should do ask the questions, we should do ask uh, ourselves that what basically we need to have before moving towards the classroom to teach and to convey what we have planned for the learners. We should ask questions and we should listen and praise to them. We should focus that with the in a class of 30 minutes or 40 minutes or 50 minutes, how many times we have praised students, how many students we have appreciated, how many students uh, we call on front, how many students names we have called, how many students we have involved into the lectures, so we better can understand. See, asking question is an art. It itself build up a confidence into the students, and when you ask question to the students and when a student asks question to the teacher, it creates a kind of a different relation, and basically it connects you with each other and it builds up another kind of relationship. We should put the kibosh on negativity. Definitely we should do put the kibosh on negativity. Why? Because until and unless we don't stop this, we cannot come up uh, with a possible with a positivity. Being an optimist teacher, we cannot show ourselves to the students and we cannot achieve our target. We should do come up with some new ideas, and we should do respect the diversity which is required in the classroom with this teaching and learning process, being flexible. And we should never come across of being overconfident, whether it's students or it's be with the colleagues, because our association with our colleagues is also very much important. We should do share with them. See, at times what happens that we as a teacher find that the same class of students, when one teacher comes and he or she starts teaching, the students' behavior is different. Whether the 30, 40 students are sitting in one classroom, with one subject of teacher, they are different. With another subject of teacher, their behavior and their responses are totally different. Why? Have you ever noticed? We should do notice that. We should do observe. We should do observe our colleagues' class. We should have a big heart. to invite other teachers to our classrooms, and we should also request to our colleagues to allow us to move towards their classroom so that we better can judge each other, we better can discuss with each other. We being teachers can bring the great change if we start discussing such kind of things with each other related to the students. Then this will not only positively impact towards the teachers and their performance, but as well as towards the learning process to the learners. Here, see, we can see that by following, there are some tips, and I hope so that by following these, we being teachers can better upgrade and upscale our classes. Like we should do get on some pages, like same pages, like we most of the time do not talk about any student, like if a student is slow learner, if a student is a good one. So we being teachers should discuss about the students, their concerns, their issues, so that we better can come across towards a good solution, and we better can bring the positive change into the students' behavior and their learning. We should teach and learn from each other, as already I said that, and collaborate on lesson plans as well. Like what can be the successful lesson plan? What can be the successful strategies? Oh, okay, those students who are very naughty in my class, how do you handle? How do you tackle them? Give me some tips. That is something like if you adopt that, that can be very much helpful in creating a good and strong relationship in between teachers and students, because students, when they like one thing with one teacher, they can also like the same with other as well. We should share our work as well, like share what works. As I already told that sometimes what happens that we being teachers feel reluctant to share some kind of a tips and tricks, but I think we should be very much open towards that, and we should with full of confidence share that teaching techniques which are fruitful and which have been successful. We should do start participate in a blog or a social network. See, this is the word of social media. We should do be a part of that. We should remain connect with our students. We should do wish them on their birthdays. We should do invite them to the different groups of social media. And this is another medium to create a kind of good uh, relationship with the students, because students at times feel uncomfortable in the classroom or in the educational institutions to share their problems, what they basically share personally and separately with their teachers. We should do schedule some get-togethers which should be there on a positive note, which should be fully free from all the negative elements, which can also bring positive change. We as teachers should do work on the problem solvings, like how we better can solve a student's problem. Again, for which we should just create a kind of environment in which we have some more sessions of discussion with the students. Like there are so many activities in which we can be a part of that, and we can involve those students who are reluctant to perform, to be a part of such kind of things. So we better can manage, we better can handle the situations, and we should be like that. Students feel that yes, we are with them, and they should trust on us, because if we be trustworthy being teacher towards our students, then students will feel like yes, we have found the right person, a right mentor or a facilitator who better can bring the positive change into our lives, and that would be the successful relationship in between teachers and students. Well, so I just would say in last that we being teachers should do remember that one child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. We should never forget that. And this is something which can bring a remarkable change into this world and society, and can build up a wonderful, long-lasting relationship in between teacher and students. Thank you very much. It's about to be end.
Thank you very much, Bilal. Please accept my sincere appreciation for this presentation. And
Thank you.
a very simple idea is, clarified in such a vivid manner that I'm very sure everybody has got to know now that the basics and the basic crust of delivering education is the connection and the relationship which happens between two entities. One is the student, the other is teacher, and by the end, the entities are actually one. And by the way, I was exploring that what does a teacher mean? So the meaning which I found are really interesting to know. Person who inspires, motivates, transforms, and changes the life. Now we need to understand, in case if we are the teachers, and yes, if we are the teachers, then we need to learn that only transferring the contextual knowledge is not going to help at all. What is going to help is the method you inspired your students, the way you touched their lives, and the connection you made with them. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. With this, we end our day 5 of boot camp. Allow me to share tomorrow's very special announcement. Our tomorrow's session is from 12 noon to 2 p.m. I repeat the time, it's 12 noon to 2 p.m. as per Pakistan Standard Time. And it's very, very special day tomorrow. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Ghulam Ali Buriro, is going to join us, and he is Asia's best, one of the best speakers. The topic he'll be covering tomorrow is integrating in a disintegrating world, understanding the importance of cross-cultural communication competence in today's academic arena. It's going to happen from 12 noon to 1 p.m. And then we'll have critical thinking and problem solving skills, which will be presented by Dr. Sahar Afshan. She is working with Bahia University as associate professor. She'll be joining us from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And then they come Sunday, and Sunday again, we'll have it from 12 to 2 p.m. as per Pakistan Standard Time. First topic is going to be creating a flourishing culture for professional development. And that is by our keynote speaker, Madam Jenny Lewis from Australia. She is a global leader of leadership and policy making on education. Then the second session will be presented by me. I wanted a very good closure, so I kept my session in the last because I wanted to talk about fixed versus growth mindset. And I'm very sure this complete boot camp and all the sessions have enabled us to learn and to differentiate what do we call a fixed mindset and what do we call a growth mindset, and what are the benefits and what are the differences between both. So ladies and gentlemen, see you tomorrow from 12 to 2. And I'm very sure these sessions are going to change us in one way or the other way. And by end of the boot camp, we will be able to transform ourselves. I once again extend my deepest gratitude and appreciation to both the presenters, Mr. Bilal Khan and Ms. Shaista, for being available for PPDCI, for preparing themselves, and for presenting from our platform. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all. Thank you very much. Goodbye.